And hello internet, Lord Ozunu here. You see, when Squid Game show up on the internet the first time, I didn't have idea what the damn thing should even be. So the number of memes that I could see about show is start to rise, and I was start to getting interesting, but the name kinda get me turned off, you know. I mean, Squid Games, what's that? Somebody is playing with random squid or something. But then this
Didn't exactly scream high quality viewing, but the more people started talking about it online, the more my interest was piqued. Maybe there was something to this show after all. And when Mahler finally told me to just shut the fuck up and watch it, I thought, what the hell, let's give it a go. And goddamn, I'm extremely glad that I did. Squid Game represents probably the most compelling and emotionally gripping viewing experience I've had since the final season of Breaking Bad. It's a show that pulled me in from the very first episode and didn't let go until the final frame. Yeah, it makes a few missteps along the way, and some of the last minute revelations are definitely going to be controversial, but for the most part it delivered a solid 9 hours of gripping, quality entertainment that puts about 95% of the garbage being churned out by Hollywood to shame. Wait, the show centers around a middle-aged loser named Gi-eun who lives with his elderly mother in South Korea. He's divorced, he works a dead-end job, he drinks too much, and he's racked up a string of gambling debts that he can't begin to pay off. But just when his life seems to have hit rock bottom, he's given the chance to participate in a series of games, with the promise of a life-changing amount of money if he makes it to the ends. With no other options, he reluctantly accepts the offer and soon finds himself whisked away to a remote compound along with hundreds of other people from all walks of life. There's everyone from hotshot stock traders to petty criminals, teachers, refugees from the north, and frail old men with terminal illnesses. But whatever their background, they all have one thing in common. They're all desperate enough to risk everything for a chance to get rich. And risk it they do.
After I watched the TV show, it reminded me on the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie Hard Target, and it had the similar concept that was from the 1993, so many years before this entire TV show was even a concept. You know, we have a rich elite that is basically sick of everything in their life. After all, they can get anything that a normal human can only dream of. That is basically their reality, and now they don't know what to do, so they figure out, let's create a new sport. We will take some poor person that have struggle in life, that cannot solve his problem, and we are going to bring him the belt with the money. So the poor person put the belt around their waist and start running, and the rich people take the guns and start hunting him like he was some kind of the animal. You know, this simple concept create one of the greatest action movie of the all time in my own opinion. And not to mention, this scene of the chase is so intense, and you don't know, can our hero actually escape and save his life from those merciless hunters? But in one of the twists, this scene happened.
Hey, come on, man! Wait, come on! Hey, call the police! There's something! Help me! Hey, come on! Oh, man, let me in! Oh. Hey, buddy! Hey, come on!
Brother,
help me, man! Come on, get up! Hey, come on, man!
Hey, man! I ain't got no change, man!
In few frames, okay, basically a short scene exactly show how American society turned itself to the bottom. Because you see, in this scene he realized without money or success in this society you are basically nothing, so he simply accept his destiny to become shot, because he don't want to live anymore in the society when he is trash and nobody will care. After all, he will just going to show up in small particle of the newspapers tomorrow, and he is soon going to be forgotten, and the real ruler of the world are still going to play their 6 games all the time, and nobody is going to stop them in that. Because you see, in reality, the sad part is different from the movie. There are no heroes, But speaking of the heroes, I want to talk about another show that also have one interesting concept that I want to bring, and that is a superhero show called The Boys. This show is specific because superheroes, as they show on this poster, heroes aren't born, they are made. Well, there is a reason, because of their heroes are not heroes at all. They are actually pretty evil persons, but they have a PR team who just make his wolf in the sheep clothes suddenly can look like a nice lamb, but you don't know what this person actually do in his free time. That is why we have the case like with Jeffrey Epstein. Also, I like to show another insert from the Loki TV show.
Infinity Stones.
Oh, we actually got bottles. Some of the guys using the paper.
Now, why exactly was this scene important? Well, you see, the Infinity Stones in the Marvel saga are one of the most important elements of the all time. They are so powerful tools, they can actually change the fate of the person. But many of the characters actually die to achieve getting those stones, or they have great sacrifice, or they did horrible stuff. Now, with the rich people, same things go with money. You see, ordinary humans have to go with huge sacrifice and get in the major trouble to get the money. But for them on the top, having them is basically nothing. I mean, they have the printing machine, they can print whatever the amount of it they want. And what is said, people actually believe in the fairy tale, how the worst kind of people on the planet will actually work in the best interest of the people, but that is not reality in which we are living. Basically, what I want to say, people who are usually on the top are pretty much evil, and this is the reason why Squid Game is so realistic at the first place. I mean, look what kind of person was actually a president of the United States.
I mean, people like that I don't think would have served in my administration if they felt their primary job was to make me look good, which was an impossible task to begin with. Those weapons of mass destruction got to be somewhere. Nope, no weapons over there. Maybe under here.
When someone literally laughs at all the lives who are lost because of the war that was started for literally nothing and have no purpose at all, do you really think that it's a stretch to assume that those kind of people actually create games like this? I mean, my country was bombed for the same reason, nothing. And the media in the United States create this propaganda that turn people from my country into literal demons, so the soldiers have easier time to actually bomb the country and not have any moral dilemma about it. That's pretty much how they do it all the time. Also, I would like to put the more details about symbolism in this show.
I'm not going to waste time explaining everything that happens, but the basic premise is this. A shadowy organisation invites hundreds of cash-strapped, desperate players to take part in a Hunger Games-type tournament to win a 45 billion won prize. They play a series of children's games with the brutal twist that the losers are violently eliminated, usually by being shot in the head by guards who look like buttons on a PlayStation controller. We're given a pretty big clue as to who runs Squid Game in the very first few seconds of the first episode. episode. As the VigilantCitizen.com website notes, the outline of this game is also the main logo of the series. The reason? It perfectly illustrates the core philosophy of Squid Game and by extension the elite. The rectangle represents the masses. The circle at the bottom of it represents those who are poor and heavily in debt. The triangle above the rectangle represents the elite ruling over the masses. The upper circle represents the all-powerful occult elite that controls the world. Throughout the series, we're presented with some subtle and not so subtle clues, which combine to communicate to us that the dystopian high-tech hellscape of Squid Game and its malevolent, abusive controllers might not just be confined to a fictional Netflix show. First, the very notion of elites engaging in ritualistic human sacrifice itself, which is a practice older than religion, a fetish that was fictionalized in 1920's The Most Dangerous Game, a short story about a Russian aristocrat who hunts humans for sport. But that's just fiction, isn't it? The games take place on a remote island that resembles a CIA torture outpost. The players are stripped of possessions, atomized, numbered, before being disorientated and infantilized. Is this really how the elite perceives us useless eaters? Surely not. The players are also given the illusion of freedom by being handed a democratic vote enabling them to leave the game. We later find out that the entire process was rigged and that the deciding vote was cast by number 1, the individual who controls the game. Many such cases. The frontman for the games, that's literally his name, is later revealed to have been a police chief in his previous career, illustrating how the elite recruit frontmen from the lower rungs of the establishment to help them evade the law. Thank God that never happens in reality. The ritualistic blood sacrifice orgies are all performed while players are surrounded by childlike playground aesthetics and images, illustrating the elite's revulsion for and lust to desecrate innocence and purity. In between the games, the elites practice divide and conquer by creating artificial food scarcity before pitting the players directly against each other. Dead bodies are placed in creepy coffins wrapped in bows, symbolizing a gift to the gods, a human sacrifice. The bodies are then harvested for organs, the sale of which presumably pays for the prize fund. This is all foreshadowed in the first episode by the main character giving an identical gift box to his daughter, which contains a gun, symbolizing how a key expression of the elite's sickness is exposing the youth to their agenda. Having previously been fed on scraps, the 3 remaining players are treated to a fine dining experience by the controllers. They're seated around a triangular table with a light in the middle. The table is placed on a checkerboard floor with 2 pillars to either side. A pillar checkerboard all-seeing eye combination that I remember viewing somewhere before. In Freemasonry, it's the platform on which the rituals take place. The ritual in question here being one of the players slashing the other one to death. And as if there was ever any doubt as to the dark forces that lie behind all this, here's a clip of the VIPs arriving to watch the games.
I hope you won't disappoint me.
Hey, didn't I see you at the 1972 Rothschild ball? No, it was at Baron Mayer de Rothschild's Mentmore mansion. The elite watch the ritual from a plush room decorated with decadent symbols where humans are used as furniture. Turns out that some of them are into weird sex stuff too. Thank God this kind of stuff doesn't happen for real. At the very end of the series, the old man responsible for creating Squid Games reveals the true motivation behind its purpose. If you have too much money, it doesn't matter what you buy, eat or drink. It all gets boring. All of my clients eventually started saying the same things when we talked. Everybody felt there was no joy in their lives anymore. And so we decided to get together and started asking what could we all do to finally have some fun. In other words, when you have all the money and power in the world, what more can you do to get your kicks? By engaging in increasingly depraved sexual and sadistic behaviour to defile the innocent. And that's kind of the goal of the series, writes Vigilant Citizen. The viewers end up watching this sick form of entertainment the same way the VIPs enjoy watching people get killed. Then, they feel dead inside. We get to pass moral judgment on the depravity of the elite, while simultaneously relishing the same debauched exposition of bloodlust. And instead of the players making millions, Netflix cashes in. As is usually the case with these type of things, Squid Game works on two levels. One for the normies and one for the initiates. The normie narrative is that which has been amplified by the media, that Squid Game is merely another critique of late-stage neoliberal capitalism. And because capitalism's so bad, I'm sure that Netflix will be donating the $900 million they've made from the show to charity. And then you have the red pill narrative, which is that the world is controlled by a sick, masked elite, which both gets its kicks out of and enshrines its power by orchestrating occult ritualistic blood sacrifices, which couldn't possibly be true in real life, could it?